Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Thursday, November 4th, 2021. Crude oil has already hit a POQ. Our first trade of the morning was at 9:05. The prior trade had gone too far and was already well past money management at our start time. Next setup was an SMA trade off the 20 SMA. So that's a diamond level trade, but you can draw it in. Setup was at 83.03, 2 ticks below the session high at the time, which was 1 bar prior. So I went ahead and moved my entry to, adjusted my entry to 83.06. 3 tick adjustment, but I just wanted to prove it was going to go through that session high again and not go back down, which it did, and gave us targets 1 and 2, 17 and 27 unadjusted, 14 and 24 adjusted. So 44 unadjusted, and 38 ticks adjusted. Small trailer if you use that. So 1 and done on crude. And the markets are about to open. The YM is flat and doesn't have anything pending at the moment. Unleaded took a 44 tick full stop out for its first trade off this trade at 22 seconds after the hour. Then comes back also with the trade off the 20 SMA at 39.71. And that got target 2 at 40.33 for 62 ticks. Trading 2 positions, that would put you down 20, still down 26. And we got 28 on the trailer that trailed up to 39.99 from 39.71, 28 ticks, and we're 2 ticks positive, and that's POQ on 2 trades. Not much, but such as it is. It was only about an $8 win for the day. Markets are open. Soybeans with a get in sync short at 12.40 even. Target and money management at 12.38. Pound Aussie. First trade was the get in sync long back here. Getting in sync with the long right at our start time, or the bounce. My chart gave a stop and reverse to short, which Trade Today didn't yet. Trade Today took the full stop and is now in this long. Actually was in the long. Kevin looks like he's posting something now. But anyway, my chart set up the stop and reverse, which hit 2 targets and about just shy of target 1 on the trailer. And that actually got me positive on the 2 trades. So that, for me, that was POQ. And I'm setting up a stop and reverse back to short. That trade plotted at 82.79, So stop and reverse entry on mine would have been 82.77. Unleaded, if you didn't use the SMA trades, looks like it's going to pick up a nice short here. It gets 82 on the target too. And more than that on the trailer that looks like it may have just, did it stop out? Nope, hadn't. It's still surviving. One tick off the stop and high bar. All right, soybeans going long. That is a chase, and it is did get in sync. So 1243 for the entry. Let's see this gray trade back here. The reason that wasn't a valid trade, and actually that would be a valid trade for us because it's filtering it out as a stop and reverse in hybrid mode. But since we're not in the long trade or the short trade yet, that would have been valid at 42.50 and just hit target one. So that's going to be a one and done session on soybeans. Unleaded surviving, getting close there on the short. Crude would have been kind of rough had you not taken the SMA trade. You would have taken this full stop short and now in another short and having to work down through the 50 EMA. I think Kevin was expecting a short, but apparently it didn't get the short on his chart. Good morning, Miles. I'm assuming everybody can hear me. Please do say hello. It's the only way we know who's in the room. Heating oil with a potential short on the catapult 0.002 range. Good morning, Pamela. And the YM with a short at 979. Thanks very much, Pamela. And unleaded stopping out of that trade. Crude would be a stop and reverse for minimal loss. That's going to be at 83.18, and that actually hasn't triggered. Target 2 on soybeans, stop at 43.75. Ooh. Crude not being nice to us this morning. If you didn't use the 20 SMA trade, that would have gotten you one and done, and watching this mess from the sidelines. So that would be your 3 trades on crude for the session. We have another short that just triggered in on heating oil. First trade never triggered. And heating oil moving down, going through money management. 44.25 for the soybean stop. That's because he's using OBS, and I'm going to get back to that, but my laptop is getting long in the tooth, and Troy's is fairly new. I'm about to replace mine. It's a combination of, I'm on a gigabit connection, but I'm having problems in the mornings with maintaining bandwidth. All right, heating oil picking up a target 3 and almost stopping out, but not quite. Heating oil picking up target 3 or 4, whichever was being used. Soybeans still at 44. Yeah, the projection or the software to stream is really bogging me down. I'm fine when I'm not streaming, but boy, the computer really slows down when I'm streaming. I'm in process of doing a rebuild on my desktop at the moment, so that's why I'm on the laptop. So the YM is still short. Oops. and looking like it might want to go back up, trying to, looks like finding some resistance at the 50 EMA and pushing back down again. Let's see if it's able to continue that. And the YM working up through the 50. Because the balance line is still just at, even on the current bar, is at 45.13. The last three bars have all been below the 3 bars ago. It set a session high, and then bounced off the 200 EMA, and now is back up testing the 200 EMA again. But that's why it hasn't moved up any further. Notice the balance line was at the target 1 level, and it's probably about to move up to 44.75. Most likely moving up to 44.75 on the close of this bar. Well, that's why, and it just stopped out. Yeah, it stopped out at 44.75. Moved up a couple of ticks and that stopped out. So I believe we hit target. We either hit target 2 on the nose or missed it by a tick. So soybeans is one and done. All right. YM is still short. And hitting money management and target one. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a previous target one. Or previous money management. I have to get those moved back in place. So YM is short. Soybeans is done. Heating oil with another scalp short win. That's two wins on heating oil. No trailers yet, just the one tick on the first trailer. All right, so unleaded is done. Pound Aussie is done for me. And stop and reverse short is posting now on Trade a Day. All right, so now heating oil is starting to trail on the second trade, 48.42 for the stop. And the YM just can't get away from its moving averages right now. It's just above the 50 EMA, and the 50 is almost met the 200 with the 20 SMA right in the middle. Soybeans headed downward now. Craig, I'm not familiar with the QO symbol. I still have a catapult chart on here. The 5-minute catapult chart isn't a great one to. That's the mini gold. I haven't done any testing with that, Craig. You're certainly welcome to test with it. I don't think that Troy hasn't got anything out with catapult that will trade on the gold. So I would say test with counterpunch or spotlight. Or am I wrong that is a gold? GC is the full gold contract. I know. I'm assuming QG is the mini gold. And the YM stopped out. ES would have gotten a trade in our 835 session. Would be the long and hit 3 targets so far. Stop is at the 1 tick break even currently, waiting for the 14 EMA to come up. Okay, that's the natural gas E-mini. That probably, I don't know if that's enabled in the catapult or not. I would be a little bit leery of that with the very low volume. That's been the problem with the Q. I believe isn't QC the crude mini, and that had very low volume, and also the Q contract on crude actually ended up being higher risk because I believe, or maybe that may have been the Q contract on crude, the mini contract, the micro may work, I believe. Actually, no, it's the micro I was looking at, I think. On crude, they increased the tick size to 2.5 cents, so it's a 1/4 point tick market, but only reduced the deliverable by half, so it ends up being $12.50 a tick on MCL. The micro crude, which doesn't really help us that much. It helps us in that we can trade, we can get more granular control of our position size, but it actually is a higher risk per tick, and it becomes a 1/4 point tick market, which is another issue. But I haven't looked at the QG contract, and as slow as things are running right now, I'm trying to change charts on the fly is not a good idea. We'll just be sitting here waiting on it. Yeah, volume is definitely going to be an issue on some things. There's not much volume, especially on those Q contracts. I've noticed the some of the minis just don't have much volume. The micros seem to be catching on fairly well as far as volume goes, and I've got to go back and look at the stats on that micro crude. But I may be remembering the Q contract on crude, but that's the kind of thing that happens on some of those. You got to be very careful of. Now the micro contracts on the indices have been very well accepted and seem to be getting good. All right, 10 o'clock crude session picks up that short 51 to, yeah, that's another one and done session for the crude 10 a.m. mini session. It's not so much indicators that the low volume is a problem, but getting in and out of your trades will be the problem with the low volume and the amount of slippage you may get. And now a third short winner on heating oil. All right, let's take a look at the bean oil and see how that's done today. All right, and we've got a short on bean oil. That has hit break even, so this is the equivalent of the bean oil chart that Troy uses. It's soybean oil. This is the one and done plan on the 22 tick or 22 cent momentum bar, 22 tick range bar on NinjaTrader. Starts at 8:30 East Central Time, 9:30 on my chart. Nice little trailer on heating oil this time. And stopping out on crude, so that completes it. The heating oil trade also stopped out, so that's your three winners there if you're trading a 3-win POQ. Not much else to watch here. The one of them just kind of going sideways primarily. All right. Questions. We're at about 10 after 10, and we're pretty well done again this morning. That's at least 3 days this week that has been pretty good. Nothing new from the YM. It's just been pretty much sideways this morning. Heating oil with a braving them along and another winner on the short. So that's 4 winners in 5 trades. I don't know, Craig. That's something you may need to ask Troy, or he may have to ask Will about that. Craig asking about the Catapult multi-trend energy panel. Apparently not printing on the QG chart. My guess is QG wasn't enabled in it, so that may be something that Will can deal with. Check your contract specs pretty carefully on that too, and see. Make sure it doesn't do something strange like what I noticed on crude. And also take a look at what the volume. See if the volume is high enough that there's enough liquidity to get in and out of trades well. All right. Well, that's right. This bean oil plan doesn't trail the 14 EMA. It trails something else, I believe. That is right there. This is the version 2 trade plan on the owner's site. Target 4 on the micro ES. ES is doing well this morning. The YM is just kind of sideways. There's our second trade. We've got a long. Okay, we're trailing a 9 EMA. On the soybeans chart. Other questions? No trigger on the YM long so far. Okay, the long has on the YM has triggered in. And the ES doing very well. And now should be starting to trail the 14 EMA. And the YM coming back down, looks like testing the 50 EMA again. So all right, surviving them so far. Testing that 50 EMA again. And the Micro ES Catapult 5-minute stop up to 46.65 even. Trade today did stop and reverse into the short. 82.67. The YM is in a very tight range this morning. from 35,952, the low, to 36,077. So just 120 points, which is not very much on the YM. And the YM stopping out again. So that's 2 full losses on the YM. Heating oil, another win trade. Crude now bouncing a little bit. Crude has been very active the last week or so, swinging through $81 a barrel to up to all the way up to about $85 a barrel. Let's see what it is doing so far this week. High is at 83.2 today. And where is our low? 70. Whoa, low got all the way down to 79.74. So we've got almost $4. $3.75 worth of range today on crude. All right. Not a whole lot more to deal with this morning. Bean oil, 78 ticks to target 2, and it's hit that. I'm not sure if target 2 or target 3 is the primary goal there. Our entry at 93. Stop currently is at 60.46. So 47 ticks on the trailer already. I believe that's a $6 a tick market. So that's almost $600 on the trailer right now with 2 positions. The risk on that trade was 28 ticks. So 56 ticks, about $336 of risk for 2 positions. So not a bad risk trade to risk, and it's certainly paying off. ES consolidating its upward move now, stopped at 66.50. If you're trailing the slow cat line, you're probably out of that trade. Let's see what. Okay, the slow cat line was 70.75. So that would put the stop at 70.25. And looks like we definitely hit that. So the micro ES trailing, all 4 targets having been hit. Big swings on energy this morning, or at least on the session today. Crude doing very nicely for us. Pretty slow on bean oil this morning. Trending down right now, but not moving very fast. Session low at 59.80. So we've got to go to, we'll close this bar at 59.79. Or, so at close of this bar, we've got to go 1 tick above high at 60.02 or below the low at 59.80, but we've got our 22 ticks there. We just have to go one tick above or below to close the bar. And the stop will move to 60.26. So add another 20 ticks. Any other questions this morning? ES, micro ES wanting to maybe to make another leg upward. Fairly strong move in the last 5 minutes. Back up to the session, toward the session highs. Session high at 46.74.50. No, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong line. The bean oil, there's the bean oil stop just moved to 60, looks like 36. Yeah, 60.36. And the bar closed up. Micro ES still in consolidation. YM still flat. Only 2 trades this morning in a pretty tight range, and those were both full losses. So 36 from 93, 57 ticks. Times 2 is 114. $684, 2 positions. And that's a nice trade this morning for a risk of $336. Any other questions this morning? Soybean oil or bean oil is still surviving. Got within 4 ticks of the stop at 60.36. Only got up to 60.32 and now seems to be pushing down again. Would need to go down to 60.10 to close. Not much going on right now. Price action has really slowed down. And crude now seems to be drifting back up. Heating oil with a long trade. A nice trailer. Craig, I would send Troy an email about the multi-trend energy Catapult Multi-Trend Energy not printing on the QG chart, because that obviously should be an energy market. And looks like trade today is flat now. Having hit money management and pulled back up to the break-even stop. Micro ES stop at 68.50 now. Crude oil giving a lot of successful trades this morning. All right. Well, unless there are questions, I am going to let everybody get on with their morning. Everybody have a good morning. Reminder that time changes this weekend for those in the U.S. other than Arizona and maybe a few other places that don't observe daylight savings time in the States. But Sunday morning at 2 a.m., the time falls back an hour to 1 a.m. So set your clocks Saturday night or Sunday morning, but by Monday, make sure your clocks are set back an hour. And we will be on standard time next week. You're quite welcome, Pamela. It looks like the soybeans, or soybean oil, came down enough to close that bar. And if I can get over the bar, I'll see what the stop is now. I think it's around 32 or 33. Ah, 60.33 is the stop. It appears. No, 60.31. Oh, yeah, that's right. We closed 2 bars there. So we're down at 60.31 now. That looks like it's kind of going sideways, as is the micro ES. And that looks like a good note to call it a day. So Troy will be back in on Monday, and he will be back in his normal digs in Napa Valley, returning this weekend from Copenhagen. So normal schedule next week, and we're still up in the air for the Monday and Tuesday of Thanksgiving. We'll let everybody know. So regular schedule next week, and everybody have a good weekend and good trading tomorrow.